Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today I'm reviewing a true classic of cold cinema, starring Gunnar Hansen, a 90s film. And no, it's not Mosquito. It is Brett McCormick's 2.5 out of 10 IMDb aggregate score masterpiece, Repligator. If you don't know, Brett McCormick is most well known for making the SOV film The Abomination, but he also made this, which many people would consider to be another abomination. But is it truly worthy of a 2.5? Wild Eye Releasing, I believe, got rights to everything from Brett McCormick. I could be wrong there, but I do believe they have the rights to all this now. This release is official. It's signed by Brett McCormick. This was limited to 100. So this has become a film that's pretty difficult to find. Away from DVD, VHS copies of this go for, a couple $100. Sometimes I've seen that happen. I was lucky to get mine directly from Brett himself, and was able to get a copy. So, what is Repligator? Well, the cover, you got a woman in a bikini with a alligator head, and it is called Brett McCormick's erotic sci-fi romp. And is that what it is? It's certainly not erotic, and there is some sci-fi. So the film follows this military scientist, well, two of them, one played by Gunnar Hansen. The other one was, I'm not entirely sure, but they are sort of working on two separate projects. So one of them is working on brainwashing. Keith Kiordace, I believe his name is the second scientist. The first one, played by Gunnar Hansen, is working on this transporter where you can transport someone. It's being used for military purposes later on, where you can transport someone, like they turn into particles and they can transport to another location. While the second doctor, Dr. Oliver, he is working on a sort of mind control device. And what we learn is Dr. Kildare, Gunnar Hansen's character who's working on the transporter, when someone is transported, they switch genders. So they get this military man to go through it's called the Replicator initially, and he gets turned into a woman. And this happens a few times. They put women through it, and they become more attractive. And this is a 20-some-year-old movie, so I'm gonna, it's called Replicator. You know what's gonna happen relatively. Eventually, when one of the women goes through, becomes more attractive, and then has an orgasm later, they turn into an alligator, because their DNA gets mixed up somehow. And yeah, I didn't even mention the mind control device for the other one is being used initially to turn people into sex slaves. This is definitely a very non-PC movie now. I'm sure it wasn't in the 90s either, but this is definitely like 13-year-old boy humor through and through. Like, this is American Pie, but even dumber, and with alligator women that they call gator babes. Hence the name Repligator, because, yeah. I'm not gonna front. This movie is so fun. And it's so stupid. It is one of the stupidest films I may have ever seen. It is one of the horniest films I've ever seen. There is nudity in this throughout the entire film for essentially no reason. This pointless nudity every 30 seconds. I mean, we have x-ray glasses just to show nudity. Nymphomaniacs. A woman is fixing stuff as a scientist with her top completely off. It's incredibly weird. The alligator women look really awful. The suits are terrible. But there is just such a charm to this film. It's a film that I think it knows it's stupid, but it is made with so much passion, and everybody in this is like fully devoted to this entire idea. And it's so stupid, but they are so devoted that it is incredibly entertaining the entire time. There are moments where I legitimately laughed at like jokes that are written, and there are parts where I laughed at just how inept and weird and stupid this movie is. Um, if you're a fan of trash cinema, this is like a holy grail, because this is one of my favorite trash films that I've ever reviewed on the channel. It is a ton of fun. There's not a ton of twists and turns, but I mean, this is a B movie. Um, yeah, this is like D F tier movie. Um, but it's fantastic and super fun, super entertaining. It's less than an hour and a half long. I think it's like an hour and 20. Um, Never overstays its welcome. Consistently entertaining the entire time. Um, it's one of those films that almost toes the line on being too stupid, but it doesn't quite reach it, so it's always fun. Um, the acting in this, surprisingly, is not terrible in some cases. It's pretty bad in some. But Gunnar Hansen, his character, and Keith Kjornes, who is also a writer on this, their characters are both acted surprisingly well. And the fact that it's not bad and like they're fully into this kind of makes it odd. So it almost makes their performances even weirder because they're not so over the top. There's someone named Colonel Sanders in this film, and their characters is every line is yelled, and I laughed every time, even when they're just talking about something normal. Um, yeah, this movie's just weird. It has weird homoerotic undertones at points. um, yeah, it's bizarre, and it's well worth watching. I believe Visual Vengeance, Wild Eye Releasing's shot on video slash trash, like Blu-ray restoration label to put out Necrophiles and LA AIDS Jabber and stuff, is going to be putting this out. At least I hope Wild Eye will put this out eventually, because this film needs to be seen by a wider audience. This is one of the most fun movies that I've seen in a very long time. One of the funnest, stupidest trash movies of the 90s. And I can, without fail, recommend this to any B-movie fan. You will enjoy this if you enjoy B-movies. This isn't one of those overly self-aware movies that aren't for everybody. This isn't one of those ones that are like so incredibly bad, like Alien Beast, that they kind of go on to being outsider art, and some people really hate that. This one kind of is that classic, like, direct-to-video, you go to Blockbuster and get a pizza and rent this crappy VHS and laugh at it with your friends type of movie. Um, yeah, I highly recommend this. Whenever the Blu-ray or DVD of it comes out again, definitely pick it up. If you can find a copy on DVD currently or VHS as it stands, definitely pick it up. Yeah, I give this my highest recommendation. I love this movie. It's hilarious. Yeah, if you have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy and you like 90s sex comedies too, you will truly love this film. So I'm definitely going to be reviewing more stuff by Brett McCormick soon, and this one, out of all of them that I've seen so far, might be my favorite, so check it out. And yeah, that's it for Repligator. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, keep your notifications on. And as always, I've been your host, Herschel Gillis, signing off for today. 0 thoughts, 0 editing, 0 brain cells, and 0 planning. I'll see you guys later this week. Thanks.